Mindful Mondays, excuse me, Mindful Mondays on Monday mornings at 9 o'clock at the North Laurel 50 Plus Center. And I miss all my peeps. We usually gather and practice in a circle, and I love that idea of a circle because it kind of links us. So if you can imagine us all in a circle together, I think maybe that's a sweet way to start. I don't know, I've had a couple of rough days, so I feel like I need this as much as anybody. So thank you for joining me on the mat this morning. This is a gentle practice of mindfulness and yoga. And I like to start with something positive, something to bring our awareness to a focal point of positivity. And I love this Celtic Benediction from John Philip Newell. And this morning's opening sort of is an homage to this beautiful day that this beautiful hot day that we are waking up to. I watch this morning for the light that the darkness has not overcome. I watch for the fire that was in the beginning and that burns still in the brilliance of the rising sun. I watch for the glow of life that gleams in the growing earth and glistens in sea and sky. I watch for your light, O God, in the eyes of every living creature and in the ever-living flame of my own soul. If the grace of seeing were mine this day, I would glimpse you in all that lives. Grant me the grace of seeing this day. Grant me the grace of seeing. With that, I invite you to close your eyes and go inward and see what we can find there. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, just soften your gaze. And let your hands rest where they're comfortable. So that might be on your legs with your palms up. Gives us sort of a seat of receptivity. Or you can let your hands rest in your lap. And then just notice what you've arrived to your mat with this morning, accepting whatever that is. And then begin to become aware of noises, sounds. Start with the sounds that are farthest away. Get really still and see how many different sounds you can discern this morning. And then draw your awareness into your own space, that space that is directly nearest your physical body. Notice how many sounds you hear close in. Maybe the sound of others in the house waking up, the sound of my voice, the sound of your own breath. Become aware of the sensation of the clothes on your skin. And the feeling of the temperature of the air on whatever is not wearing clothes, your arms, your hands, your feet. Just noticing all of those things that make us conscious of our aliveness this morning. Maybe with your eyes closed, you can perceive some light shining through those eyelids. And becoming aware of the thoughts that are more pervasive this morning. Just noticing. Just getting curious about all those more extraneous things that become part of our world. Sometimes we take for granted. But here we're called to be mindful of all of them and just let them be. And then invite in a softness to the belly. And let your breath fill up the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And then as you exhale, just notice how it feels to release all of the air from the body, whether it's from the mouth or the nose. Just let go of all the air and draw that belly into the spine and feel that release. And then again, soft belly, but this time closed mouth. Invite the air in through the nostrils, filling up belly, ribs, and lungs. All the way up and pausing at the top. And then expel the air through the nostrils. Feel the sensation of the air leaving the body. Good. We'll take a few more, just finding our own rhythm this morning, but slowing down. Inhaling and exhaling. Breath in and slow exhalation. Good. Keep going a few more as we begin to settle in a little bit more. We spent some time on the beach yesterday with some dear friends, and their little 4-year-old granddaughter was there, and her grandfather, our friend, was teaching her how to catch a football. And I captured this picture just as the football was beginning to come into her hands, or so she hoped. And the picture was, if you can imagine, her hands were held out just in such anticipation of catching this football. And her eyes were right in her hands where she wanted that football to land. She was sure that that thing was going to land right there. Well, right after I snapped the picture, the football plopped right in the sand in front of her. And I thought, this is so, and her grandfather, of course, was very patient and said, you have to keep your eye on the ball, right? So I thought, this is so how I feel lately. I just want that ball to land in my hands, and I'm just... But you got to keep your eye on the ball. So today we are going to focus on our Drishti. In yoga, the Drishti is the gazing point, that which we see, which keeps our focus on what is important. So we don't miss all the goodness that is all around us. So as you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes, and if you're seated like I am, just switch the cross of your legs so that we are giving both sides of our hips equal time. And if this is not a comfortable pose for you, I invite you to make it your own, as with this whole practice. And I have a blanket tucked underneath me. You can also use a pillow. You can elevate your hips as much as need be to stay here. We will be here for just a few more minutes. So when you're ready, we're going to take some shoulder rolls. So draw your shoulders up and back. And just notice what's happening in those shoulders. Maybe you have some crunchies like me. Just take some slow rolls. And we'll take them back to counteract all that forward hunching that we tend to do when we're on computers and driving and all the things that we do that are kind of keep us hunched forward. And take a couple more and just notice how your shoulders are feeling this morning. And then when that feels complete, just let your shoulders lower down so that there's some genuine space between the ears and the shoulders. And then notice your posture. See if your chin is jutting forward. See if you can tuck it in so it's somewhat parallel with the earth. And sit up nice and tall so we have a long line of energy from the tailbone up to the crown. And we feel very spacious. We've got this nice open chest, nice open heart. And then bring your arms out to the sides. Maybe your fingertips will graze the sides, the mat there. And inhale, reach up and look up. Take your gaze up towards your hands. See if you can see your hands as you let your palms press together, and then draw them right down into your heart. Let your chin come to your chest, and just for a moment, create an intention for this practice. And maybe that intention is to keep our focus on what is our drishti, our gazing point, that which is not moving, that which keeps us very steady. And as you're ready, blink open your eyes. If they're closed, we'll take 2 more. Inhale, reach up and look up. And exhale, take your chin to your chest, stretching the back of the neck. Good. 3rd time's the charm. Inhale, reach up and look up. And let your palms come down to your heart center, chin to chest. When you're ready, blink your eyes open. We'll take the arms up again, and we'll take a gentle twist towards your left, taking the left hand behind you. The right hand can rest somewhere gently on this left leg. Sitting up nice and tall again, the crown of the head just reaching toward the heavens. And take a deep breath in, and then twist a little bit more, just taking that neck where it will go this morning, accepting where it won't, and see what you can see out of the right side of your right eye. Stretching those eyes a little bit. Take one more big breath in, and as you exhale, we'll slowly unwind, reach your arms out, create that space. Inhale, reach up, palms touch, and then exhale, take that twist to the other side. Good. Nice lift again. Noticing each side will be different. As we go through this practice, one side may be a little more challenging. We just accept it. Find that drishti. What can you see out of the left side of your left eye? Stretch. Take one more big breath in, deep breath, filling up completely. And then as you exhale, slowly unwind, come back to center. Maybe take a few more circles of those shoulders, maybe one and then the other. And then find stillness. And let your eyes close for a moment. Notice how you feel after just a few moments of yoga. So good. Brings us back to ourselves, back to our center, back to our drishti. Good. And as you're ready, blink open your eyes, rub your palms together. Yeah, rub them briskly. And then we're going to take our palms and just cup our eyes. Just let the palms gently rest over top each eye. And take a deep breath in as you soothe your eyes. And a nice long exhalation. Just feeling your own healing energy on those eyes. Good. And then release and take your 2 fingers, your pointer finger and your middle finger. Just give your eyelids a little massage here. Good. From the inside out. And then draw those fingers right to the outsides of your eyes, to your temples. Give yourself a little massage here. And then take those fingers down to that space right between the jaw where sometimes we can get a little tight, and just give yourself a massage there. Good. Maybe work your way down your jaw. And give that jaw a little love. And then reach the right hand behind your neck and give your left, and just one at a time, take your hands behind your neck and give yourself a neck massage. Why not? It's Monday. It's a good way to start. Right? Good. And then release that. Let your hands come down to your lap again. Let your eyes close and just notice. Notice your face. Maybe it's a little softer. Maybe a little smile has come to your lips. Take a big breath in and a deep exhalation. And as you're ready, bring your chin to your chest and just begin to draw some circles in one direction with your nose. Just take it all the way around until you can sort of smooth out any rough edges there. Good. You might hear a few little crunchies in there. Just go, be gentle, and take it in the opposite direction. Good. You got this. Breath long and slow and smooth, and then let the chin come down to the chest. And then release that. Excellent job. Blink your eyes open if they're closed. And if your legs are still crossed in easy pose, just release them. We'll take our hands behind us and just rock from side to side, just letting the hips open up a little bit. Good. And then accepting where we are today, so that if our knees will not permit us to come to tabletop, it's nice to have a blanket. You can also use a bed pillow. There are lots of things to do to cushion your knees if they just are sore when we come to this tabletop. We won't be here for long, and if you are familiar with yoga, you can come on up to a downward facing dog, or you can stay seated or come into child's pose. But we are going to take some cat-cows here in tabletop. So as you come into it, look down at your hands and spread your fingers nice and wide, and make sure your hands are right under your shoulders. And then the knees are right under the hips, and the knees are about hip width apart. So as you're ready, inhale deeply and drop your belly toward the floor. Lift your tailbone, lift your gaze. So the gaze is up here. And then as you are ready to exhale, just round forward, coming into that Halloween cat shape, drawing the belly into the spine, pressing the mat away. Good. Inhale, belly descends, head and tail lift, and exhale, round. Good. Couple more. Just working out the kinks in the spine. As you breathe, matching your breath to your movement. This is the unifying benefit of yoga, is the breath and the movement can be coordinated, keeping our focus right there, right in this present moment, with whatever we got. We'll take one more. Good. And then round into that Halloween cat shape. Really press the mat away. See if you can draw your belly into your spine even more deeply. And let your chin come down to your chest. Good job. And then come back to that neutral table. We'll take some hip circles. So just circling gently your hips in one direction. And we want to be mindful of that neck. So we kind of got a good feel for how it's going to be this morning by taking those circles. So if it's a little more tight, just keep a long keep length in the back of the neck as we move through this practice. Good. And go the other direction. Slow and mindful. Working out the hips. Good. And then as you come back to center here, setting back up in table, take your knees wide as you can, wide on your mat. Bring those big toes to touch and sink your hips back. We'll come into a gentle child's pose, extending your arms forward and then allowing that forehead to come down to the mat, or a pillow, or a block, if you don't quite reach the floor. And breathe here. So it's a deep stretch. Getting that lower back stretched out. You can reach your fingertips a little more forward if that works for you. Keeping those elbows off the mat, and you'll get a stretch in the upper back and shoulders. Take another breath in. And a deep exhalation. And then we'll slowly make our way back through table. Bring our knees back to center so they're under the hips. And tuck the toes here, getting a little stretch of the feet. Maybe lean back a little bit. And as we rise up into downward facing dog, which is that inverted V position, just press into the joints of the fingertips, bringing a little more assistance to the wrists, so we're not dumping all of our weight into our wrists. So think about using the whole of the hand as we gently lift the knees up off the mat and press up to downward facing dog. So in this downward facing dog, my heels never really reach the floor, but they're doing their darndest. But it's okay. You're getting a nice stretch of the back of the leg. I should say most yogis don't let their heels don't reach the floor in downward facing dog, so it's not even something we really care about, right? The idea is to lift the hips and take your drishti, your gaze, back towards your knees. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, remove your blanket if it's in the way. We're going to take a walk up to the front of our mats and meet in a forward fold. Now, being mindful of the lower back here, keep a generous bend in the knees if your lower back is feeling tweaky today. And maybe you want to reach for your elbows and just create a little nest for your head with your arms. And maybe your chest is all the way on the thighs. Your knees are bent so much, but your head is under your heart. Shake your head yes, and shake your head no. A couple of times, just release any tension in the back of the neck. Full breath in, full breath out. Good. One more breath in, and as you exhale, release your fingertips to the floor, and just slowly root your feet into the mat as you rise up. Just coming up one body part at a time. And then inhale deeply as you reach up and look up and get really long in the body. So find that length, reaching your fingertips. And maybe take a look up. So it's a challenge of the balance. As you're looking up, keep pressing into the feet. And then as you draw your palms together to touch, bring your gaze to your palms as you draw your hands down to your heart. Let your chin come to your chest. Keep your gaze on the palms at your heart center. Maybe swallow in your throat here to relax. We want to stay really soft, but really grounded. And then as you're ready, release your hands out to the sides, coming into mountain pose. So palms will face forward, and lift and loop those shoulders back. And then maybe close your eyes here, another balance challenge. Imagine yourself, take your gaze inward and imagine yourself a standing mountain, or the essence of a standing mountain, deeply rooted, lifting high and tall and proud, open. Good. And as you're ready, draw your hands to your heart center. We'll take them back up again. Let your palm, follow your palms with your gaze, and then open up, coming into goddess pose, leaning back just a little bit, taking your elbows out to the sides, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Good. And then as you're ready, we're going to swan dive or dive forward, coming back into that forward fold, mindful of our lower back, keeping a bend in the knees as much as you need to. On your inhale, we'll come to a flat back. We'll move a little more quickly now, just bringing the breath and the movement together. And exhale, fold forward. Good. Bending your knees, root to rise, reaching up, looking up, taking your gaze up toward the sky, and then following your hands as they come back to your heart. And we release into mountain pose. Good. We'll take one more. Inhale, reach up, look up. Open up, coming into that goddess pose, leaning back a little bit, squeezing the shoulder blades. And exhale, dive forward, bringing your hands toward the floor. Maybe there's a little more straightening to the legs, maybe not. Inhale, halfway lift. Make that Ardha Uttanasana, half table. And exhale, fold forward. Good job. Inhale, we'll root to rise, reaching those arms up, all the way up. Take your palms to touch and clasp your hands. Make a teepee with your hands so that your pointer fingers are coming together, pressing together, and your palms are pressing together. And the arms are framing the ears as much as possible. They'll be where they are, so they might be a little more forward. Take a big breath in and lean over to your left, making a C shape with your body, getting a stretch in the right side body. And maybe your gaze wants to go toward the right. Breathe here. Inhale. And exhale, come back to center. Good. Take a big breath in, inhale, and lean to the other side, making that shape, that banana shape, that C shape, stretching from the side of that foot that is planted where you are leaning all the way up to those fingertips. Good. Breath in and come back to center. Reach up. We'll take one more goddess pose, leaning back, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Good. And then exhale, slowly dive forward, bending your knees as much as you need to. Fingertips come to floor or blocks if you have them. Inhale, come to that halfway lift. And then exhale, we'll take our hands to the floor and step back with our right leg. So the fingertips will come to the floor, framing the left leg. Good. And we're lifting up on those right toes. Maybe rock forward and back a little bit. And then look down, take your gazing point to that left knee and line it up with that left ankle. So we have a nice length. And then take your gaze forward and just pause here. Breathing in this low lunge. You can always lower your knee and the top of your foot. Decide where you want to be and place your right hand inside that left foot. And then lift that left arm up. Take a twist to the left. Keeping that left knee over that left ankle. Opening up that left shoulder. Perhaps you want to take a shoulder circle here. Good. And lift it up again. Take your gaze up toward that left arm as much as you can. Stretching the neck a little bit more. Good job. And then as you exhale, take the left hand to frame the left foot. And come up on your fingertips again. Good. Now we're going to look toward where we want this right foot to land, which is right to the right of the left foot. Right? We're not going to look back at the right foot. We're going to look right where we want it to land and see if we can just step it forward, coming into our forward fold again. No big deal, right? Come into your ragdoll, or maybe take your peace fingers and wrap them around your big toes. And we'll come back into a forward fold. Good. Nice big breath in. Exhale it out. One more breath. So many cooling benefits to be in a forward fold, to have your head under your heart. It's one of the best things to do on a hot day like this. And when you're ready, bend your knees, root to rise, reach up, look up, let your palms come together. Find that clasp again, pointer fingers pointing toward the heavens. Press into your feet, engage your legs, and draw your shoulders down on your back. And we'll lean to the left, look right. Big breath in. Big breath out. Good. One more breath in. And exhale back to center. And as you inhale, go the other way. Side stretch. We want to stretch in all directions. Good. Keeping that left foot firmly planted as we stretch through that left hip, left side body. One more breath in. Exhale, come back to center, open up, goddess pose again. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Can't get enough of this goddess, right? And then exhale, swan dive forward slowly, keeping that bend in the knees as much as needed. Inhale, come to your half table, halfway lift, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, take your hands down to the floor, fingertips come to the floor. Step that left foot back, all the way back. Get a nice runner's lunge here. Maybe rock forward and back. And you can always lower your knee. But if you're ready, take that left hand to the inside of the right foot. Sweep that right arm up. Take your twist. Good. Balancing, building strength, building some resilience. Take your drishti up toward that right hand. And maybe take a circle. See if you can follow it with your gaze. Maybe take a second circle or a third. Eventually finding that stretch again. Good job. That twist, And then coming back to center, bringing that right hand down to frame the left foot. And then find that spot right next to your right foot. This is where the left, you might look back and just give your left foot some encouragement. You might decide to rock forward and back. And it might take you a couple of steps to get there, no biggie, but we are going to land there. We're going to keep our vision where we want to land. And step it forward, no biggie. So they say. And coming into forward fold, you can take your peace fingers here, you can take your ragdoll, or maybe lift your right foot and tuck your right palm underneath your foot, and then take your left hand and tuck your left palm underneath your left foot. And so your toes are coming up to give your wrists a little massage, and you can do that. This works for some people with longer arms, but maybe not for everybody. And breathe here. Good stretch to the hamstrings. You can bend one knee and then the other. Eventually finding stillness. Coming back to that breath, that anchor of the breath. Good. One more breath in. And as you exhale, release your hands from their bondage. Bend your knees, root to rise. Rise all the way up. Reaching up, looking up one more time. And draw the hands to heart center. And we'll pause here. Just let your eyes close. And just notice how you feel. We've been up and down and all around. Just let yourself settle. So with the eyes closed, and the hands here at the center of our physical body, we can kind of find a little balance here, but you might notice that you're rocking toward the right and toward the left, making little subtle adjustments with the body. Just notice that. Breathing in and breathing out. And when you're ready, slowly blink your eyes open, release your hands out, coming into mountain pose. And before anything, let's lift and spread our toes. So do look down at those toes, all 10 of them, hopefully, and then press your pinky toe into the floor, and your second toe, and your third, and your closest one to the big toe. And press all the joints of the toes, just like we were doing with the hands. It's really good for arthritis, bringing blood flow to all the extremities. Super important because we don't always pay much attention to them. So pressing in to those feet, feeling the stability of the earth beneath us. We're going to take our weight into our left foot and just bring our right foot up to our toe and externally rotate that right foot, taking the heel to the inside of the ankle of the left foot. You can bring your hands back to your heart. And this can be your tree pose for today. This is plenty of balance. You can feel those little minor adjustments happening in your left hip and your left ankle. It's all good. So, if you desire to bring your leg up a little bit higher, go for it. But whatever you do, find a drishti, something that's in front of you that is not moving, that is providing you some stability, some focus, some faith, and some hope. So I'm looking at a tile in my kitchen, and it's doing the trick. What are you looking at? What is not changing? Something stable, something true. And if you feel like you're really stable here, you want to reach your arms up, you want a little bit more challenge, go for it, grow your branches. Blow in the breeze. And if you happen to fall out of the pose, just come back. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. If you're feeling really stable and your drishti is working for you, drop some leaves, let go of some things. Let go. Things that no longer are needed. And then as you're ready, on your exhalation, gently bring your hands to your heart, bring your knee forward, and slowly lower that right foot down to the earth. Woo. Good job. Good job. Shake it out. Really shake it out. And then we'll come into the other side. So set your feet up, spread those toes, and then press them into the earth. Bring your hands to heart center. Find that drishti, and take your weight over to the right side. Bring all the weight into the right side of the body, the right foot, pressing into the earth, feeling that stability, and then gently externally rotate, bringing the ankle, bringing the heel of the left foot into the ankle of the right, finding that touch point. And then maybe you want to draw that leg up to the inner thigh, pressing equally on the foot with the leg and back into the leg with the foot. Maybe you want to grow your branches, keeping that drishti, keeping that gazing point. Opening up that hip a little bit more. Good. Reaching out. Staying nice and open, dropping those leaves. All the while, keeping that drishti. Take one more breath in, bringing hands back to heart center. And then as you exhale, bring that left leg forward, slowly lower it down. Good job. Awesome job. We balanced. Check that off the list. Yoga is all about moving in so many mindful directions, stretching the body, relaxing the mind, giving the spirit a really soft place to land. And we can't really do that without some balance. We all need balance more than ever, probably. So when you're ready, we're going to come down to our mat, and I'm going to come down through a yogi squat. Now, if your knees are just not going to squat today, we're going to bring our legs wide, let our toes point outward. But if you know that it's not for you, come down to the mat and find a seat. But if you want to join me in a yogi squat, we'll sink our hips down and take our elbows to the insides of our legs. And then create a nice lift of the heart and maybe a little smile as we stretch our hips. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Yeah. One more, nice, long, and deep. And as you're ready, just take your hands to the floor, lower yourself down, and take your left, come to the lengthwise on your mat. Take your left leg out to the left, and your right leg to the inside of this left leg. Good. So we're going to come into sort of a tree pose, a seated tree pose. And when you're ready, turn your hips toward that left leg. And so this right knee might want to come up, and if you have a pillow or a blanket, you can tuck it underneath this right leg, right knee, right thigh, to give it a little support. And turn your hips toward that left leg, and we're just going to bring our hands toward our ankle, our foot, and then bring our nose toward that left knee, and just bow forward. So if you flex that left foot, you'll get some engagement in that left thigh. And then notice what's happening with the right hip. See if you can soften. And we'll take 3 deep breaths here. So your hands can be anywhere. They can even rest on the floor. But if you want a little bit more, reach for the outsides of the foot. And take a breath in to lengthen, then a breath out to refold. Good. 2 more breaths in here. And 2 more breaths out. Keeping the exhalation longer than the inhalation. Calms and soothes our nervous systems. One more breath in, and slow, deep exhalation. And then slowly take your hands, walk your way back up, and we'll switch sides. So that left foot comes to the inner thigh of the right. Maybe you tuck under, maybe this hip doesn't really want this on this side. Just decide what works for you. And then turn your hips toward that right leg, flex that foot, and bow toward that foot. So you may just come a little bit forward, taking your gaze toward that knee, softening where you can. Good. And take one more breath in, and one more breath out. Let's just take one more. Full breath in, full breath out. And slowly take your fingertips to the outsides of this leg. Just gently walk your way up. And then we'll come lengthwise, letting our legs come lengthwise on our mats. And keeping your blanket, your pillows, all your props handy, just slowly lower yourself down to your mat. Give your knees a squeeze, hug yourself. Hug yourself, yeah, that's what I mean. Draw your knees into your chest. Take a nice big breath in, and a deep exhalation. And then we'll take our left foot to the floor, cross that right ankle over this left quadricep, and reach for either the inside of this left hamstring or the outside of the shin. And try to gently press that right knee away as you draw your legs in toward your chest. Nice deep breath in. This is a deep hip stretch, so be gentle. Go as far as you're ready today. Maybe close your eyes and keep your focus. Notice if your shoulders are hunching up. And take one more breath. And exhale it out. Slowly lower that left foot. Release the right foot down to the floor, and we'll take the opposite ankle across. And reach for what you can. Draw those knees in toward you and breathe. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your focus on your breath. Nice big deep breaths in. Pressing that knee outward so you get a deeper stretch if you're ready for it. One more big deep breath in, filling up, and then exhale to slowly release. Good job. So we're just going to take our knees over toward the left side, open up, turn your gaze to the right, taking a gentle, simple twist here to finish off our practice. Deep breath in as you twist from the waist. Deep breath out. And slowly hug yourself again, come back to center. Drop those knees to the other side, open up that arm, turn your gaze, your drishti, toward the other side. Full breath in, deep exhalation. And then slowly draw your knees back to center. You might want to take another hug or take some circles with the knees in both directions. Eventually, we're going to make our way to our Shavasana, our final pose, which is the most important pose in yoga. So I suggest tucking something under your knees if that would feel good. You can take your blanket or your towel and roll it up ever so slightly and tuck it under the crook of your neck. Just give yourself all the support you need. We all need support right now. Give it to ourselves first, so we have it to give to others. And then tuck your shoulders. Tuck those shoulder blades under you, just like we were doing in goddess pose. And let your shoulders release toward the floor. Let your palms face up in that receptive, open, ready to catch the ball position. And then let go. Feet flop out to the side. The whole body softens toward the earth, just surrendering here. And we'll breathe. Nothing left to do. You've done a beautiful job. Now rest. When near the end of day, life has drained out of light, and it is too soon for the mind of night to have darkened things. No place looks like itself, loss of outline, makes everything look strangely in between, unsure of what has been or what might come. In this wan light, even trees seem groundless. In a while it will be night, but nothing here seems to believe the relief of dark. You are in this time of the interim, where everything seems withheld. The path you took to get here has washed out. The way forward is still concealed from you. The old is not old enough to have died away. The new is still too young to be born. You cannot lay claim to anything in this place of dusk. Your eyes are blurred, and there is no mirror. Everyone else has lost sight of your heart, and you can see nowhere to put your trust. You know you have to make your own way, though. As far as you can, hold your confidence. Do not allow your confusion to squander this call, which is loosening your roots in false ground. That you might come free from all you have outgrown. What is being transfigured here is your mind, and it is difficult to slow, to become new. The more faithfully you can endure here, the more refined your heart will become for your arrival in the new dawn. So as you're ready, begin to deepen your breath and make some small movements with fingers and toes. And just take a moment to pause here, maybe even stay here for a while longer. And just notice how you feel. Notice the effects of the practice and your breath work, your balancing, your ability to find and steady your drishti, your gazing point. And if you'd like to join me in a comfortable seat, you can press your way up and find that length in the spine, that drawing in of the chin to parallel with the earth. And see if you'll feel a little more expansive here. Let your eyes close one last time. Take that inner gaze and reach your arms out, opening up, and then reach up for all the goodness. Draw it right down into your heart. Let your chin come to your chest, just bowing to your own tenacity, your own courage, your own love. just by showing up here, you're saying to yourself, yes, we can do this. We can do this together, even though we're separate. Thank you so much for showing up this Mindful Monday. Until next week, namaste, my friends. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Connie.